The woman accidentally discovered her brother-in-law was on the phone with the president of the Chamber of Commerce. The president sincerely asked the young man to give him a chance to make amends. Upon hearing this, the woman speculated that her brother-in-law's identity was not simple. When the young man arrived at the agreed-upon location, the Chamber of Commerce president, who made countless people tremble at the mere mention of his name, knelt down. It turned out that the young man's father was the richest man in the world. Because the young man did not want to live in the United States, he had returned to China to enjoy a leisurely life. His father arranged two potential marriage partners for him. One was a female CEO with a net worth in the tens of billions. The other was universally recognized as the most beautiful woman in China. Because the young man had returned home incognito, the unaware female CEO stormed to his doorstep demanding to break off their engagements. She asked the young man if he had any objections. Before he could answer, the female CEO's assistant sneered, calling him a beggar who picked up trash abroad, and said he had no right to refuse. Upon hearing this, the young man couldn't help but smile. The female CEO declared that she was about to become the disciple of the richest man in the country. She said their status disparity made them absolutely unsuited to be together, then took out a bank card with $100,000 on it and threw it at the young man. From that moment on, they had no further relationship. After saying this, the female CEO and her assistant left. Not long after they left, the richest man in the country arrived to welcome the young man. To show his sincerity, the richest man in the country brought along a 100-year-old vintage wine from his collection, and handed over the keys to the villa where he lived. Then he told the young man that he planned to take the female CEO as his disciple. This matter was orchestrated by the young man's father. He wanted to ask the young man's opinion. The young man felt the female CEO was unworthy of such an honor, but the richest man in the country said the female CEO had already announced to the nation that she would hold her disciple acceptance banquet in 3 days. Such fanfare clearly aimed to leverage the apprenticeship to forge a connection with the world's richest man. If the banquet were cancelled, the female CEO would become a national laughingstock. To save face for the richest man in the country, the young man had no choice but to accept the invitation to the disciple acceptance banquet. Just as he was about to rest, the butler informed him that his father had also arranged a fiancée for him. Reluctantly, the young man went to learn more. The fiancée's father didn't care about the young man's identity, and immediately arranged for his daughter to marry the young man. But the fiancée looked down on the young man, and even her mother thought he was too poor. On his first visit, he had brought 2 worthless bottles of wine. Therefore, she firmly refused to let her daughter marry the young man. At that moment, a wealthy second-generation heir who had been courting the fiancée walked in. Today, he brought a betrothal gift worth $3 million. Upon seeing such an expensive gift, the fiancée's mother was overjoyed, and immediately agreed to marry her daughter to the wealthy heir. However, the father stopped her. The wealthy heir hurriedly presented them with the invitation to the female CEO's disciple acceptance banquet. Let them go to the party with an invitation to be part of the high society. The young man tore the invitation to shreds on the spot. He insisted it was just an ordinary invitation, because he had just received an invitation from the richest man in the country.